Mechanics, what car brand would you never buy, and why? My father-in-law has a transmission shop and he says if you buy a Dodge, he'll see around 60k miles and happily take your money. My Dodge Caravan needed its third transmission by 50k miles. Dodge wouldn't fix it under warranty because that expired at 48k miles, even though it was obviously a lemon transmission. Slaps roof of Dodge, this bad boy can fit so much freaking disappointment in it. Slaps roof of Dodge, car breaks down. Looks like the consensus is Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, all the same company. Alright, looks like my next purchase is gonna be a Rolls Royce, thanks Reddit. One piece of sound advice, check for oil every time you drive it. If there isn't any under it, you are out of oil. From what I've learned so far in my classes, stay TF away from Chrysler. Can confirm. 2 days after I bought my 300 the fuel seal was bad and the car stalled every time I stopped the entire way home. A Honda Civic, because you'll be stuck driving it until it crashes and new cars are exciting. Can confirm with my 1998 Civic running strong with no oil in it. Any Chrysler product, especially the Cloud platform, Stratus, Cirrus, Breeze, Sebring, look where the battery is. Any Range Rover, too many issues to list, but the air suspension is notoriously bad. If it doesn't leak then it means that you should refill the fluids. Good to find people love Toyota. My girlfriend and I share an '06 Corolla. It's a little worse for body wear, some scratches, missing spacers, but it runs like a dream and never has any problems that aren't inexpensive one-day fixes. Most people who buy Toyota don't love Toyota, they want reliable transportation and don't really care much for cars. Toyota vehicles generally last a long time and do a reasonable job of getting you from point A to B. If this is what you are looking for, good for you. If not, you should probably get something else. Control plus F Mazda, sparse results, Q. The entire reason Mazda was ever associated with poor reliability was because their appreciation of rotary engines was tanking the brand's reliability figures since companies like Consumer Reports couldn't not mention the RX-7 and RX-8. I knew the overwhelming answer to this would be Chrysler. I'm not a mechanic but my dad is. I've never seen him drive anything other than a Toyota for as long as I can remember. God, my mom had a 2000 Sienna for about 15 years, put almost 300k miles on it. The only reason she got rid of it was because it needed some maintenance repairs done, but at that point she didn't have to lug around 4 kids and saw no reason to keep it. She traded it for a Yaris and wouldn't stop talking about how great the gas mileage was. I'm over here with my 95 DX Honda Civic that my father passed on to me from his drive from Texas to Wisconsin. My biggest problem with it is rust lol. I mean you live in Wisconsin, it doesn't matter what kind of car you drive, the salt will get you eventually. Can you get alphas where you are? If so, don't. They are the rock stars of the car world. Look pretty, die young. Dodge, they might look nice but they are junk. I once asked a tow truck driver about what cars to avoid. He immediately answered Dodge Durango. I've towed so many of them I can hook one up in the dark. To this day I remain Durango free. Haven't seen Subaru on here yet. What's the consensus on them? The 270k miles on my Impreza say it's pretty solid. All my dream cars got knocked out in this thread, so I guess I'm sticking with Subaru. Can we talk about pricing schemes between makes for a moment? One thing Honda, Mazda, and a few of the other Japanese brands have really gotten right, that other brands are now copying, is how they price their cars. You get 3-4 levels of trim extras on every car, plus maybe a sat-nav option, otherwise you pick your color and go. On the other hand there's Ford, and several other American manufacturers, where you have everything as an optional extra, and it has to be added in various packages. Want disc brakes instead of drum brakes? You need to add the safety features package that also comes with blind spot monitoring and a backup camera. But what if you don't want the backup camera? Too bad. Want a sunroof? You also have to upgrade your sound system and add fog lights in the weather and climate package. Built your favorite loadout? Good luck finding one exactly like that on the lot. You're going to have to sacrifice some desired features, or else pay for ones you don't actually care about if you want that car. Frick, that noise. Frankly, Tesla has the right call by not having dealerships at all and selling directly to customers. But until those laws are changed in the US, the Japanese 3 trim levels only model is way better and lets you at least know what you're paying for without getting raked over the coals by salesmen at the negotiating table for every little nickel and dime extra and customization option. TLDR, don't buy a car. If you want reliability, there's a reason why Civics, Accords, Camrys, and Corollas have been a popular purchase for a long time. Boring as heck, but damned if they don't stay together. Jeep, what a freaking piece of crap. Loaded for 75k, WTF. Never buy Chrysler. I have owned over 40 vehicles, mostly purchased used. Every Chrysler gave me issues from the start. Honda Civic was best car I ever owned. Ran the crap out of it with little to no maintenance, due to its age and mileage. I just planned on running it until it died. It never died and I eventually sold it for almost what I paid. Good, nobody said Volvo. Nobody said Lada or Trabant, too. You go, car stays. Maybe slap a serious tag on this. This baby can carry so much engine. Not a mechanic, but never let anyone you love, like or even don't openly hate buy a Mini. They are absolute junk. Seriously, everyone I knew who had one had the same repeating failures as we did, and the internet forums are full of the same reports up to and including burning down houses. Seriously, they have faulty oil lines that dump oil on hot turbos, and it's well documented people coming home, parking their car in the garage and the car burning down the house. For several years they were the absolute lowest rated cars on reliability studies, below Fiat, below Chrysler, below Jeep, and they deserved it. I'm a daughter of a mechanic. Please, whatever you do, do not buy a Mini. One of the most fun cars I've ever driven, but that is where the fun stops. The entire time I owned mine was a traumatic experience. I was hemorrhaging money. Hot Wheels, there's no engine : TLDR. Frick Chrysler, Dodge, and Jeep. Toyota is pretty good though. Buy a Toyota or a Honda. I have followed this advice all my life, then bought a used Tahoe a few years ago. Within 6 months it had so many issues I traded it in for a Subaru. I absolutely love it and have had 0 issues, so I'll add Subaru to Toyota and Honda. Family owns a Dodge Nitro. Crap is breaking on it that you didn't even think could break. The fricking buttons to control the windows are coming off like one a week. They're built like crappy Legos. Late to the party maybe, but actual mechanic here. I have come to the conclusion that everything is junk. However, if you want the least crappy, go Toyota or Honda. Don't mess with Nissan. They are the Dodge of Japan. For a truck I prefer Chevys, but they rot like nobody's business. Main thing you should do is maintain your vehicle. If something minor does malfunction, get it fixed. These things start to pile up and before you know it you are driving a death trap. So get whatever you like, but expect to spend money on it. And remember, everyone wants a Wrangler until they own a Wrangler. Can we redo this thread and ask that only certified mechanics respond to what car brand we should be buying 2005 to 2018? You can ask. The thing is though, even shade tree mechanics that work on lots of cars will know which ones are always being repaired. I'm a YouTube certified shady tree mechanic. But I love my Toyota. I still ride on horseback. I don't trust cars. The only car I will buy is a 1989 Ford Crown Victoria. It's really been all downhill from there. Control F Toyota. Oh thank fricking god. Yeah, I know they're historically very reliable, but who knows if there's some uncharacteristic off year for a particular model. We rarely get Toyota, Honda, or Nissan in the shop for big repairs, unless they have an absurd amount of miles, or have been completely ignored their entire lives. Chevy makes some pretty solid trucks and SUVs. Some years did have some lifter problems due to the DoD system. Quite expensive repair, but overall good vehicles. Chevy cars, you should do your research on certain year models. If you are wanting to have cheaper maintenance, avoid most Asian V6s. Some have timing belts that have to be replaced and can be pretty pricey every 60-90k. If you already have one of these types of engine, do not ignore this part of the maintenance. It will cost you in the long run when it breaks and trashes your valve train. TL, DR, Honda, Toyota, Nissan, Chevrolet. Always do your research and stay on maintenance. I recommend buying these brands, not avoiding them. Your TLDR makes it seem like they are brands you would never buy. Right, I am a teenager trying to get a license, and I will be moving to Australia, NSW, soon for university. If I manage to get my P's, what is a good car to get as my first one? I need something on the cheaper side and reliable. I also should learn how to take care of a car, but I guess I should figure out how to drive first. Toyota, anything freaking Toyota. I had an early 2000s Corolla as my first car. 4 years of no servicing and it never died. On the flip side, stay away from Nissan. I upgraded to a Navara and have spent $3k fixing it in the 6 weeks I've had it. Honda, my 2007 Accord had both its front and rear badge fall off. I don't even know what kind of car I have because I only see 3 or 4 other mid-2000s Accords in fine working order on my block. I don't know what horrible management decision led to them using such horrible adhesive, but it should have been made to handle 8 consecutive years in the oppressive Florida sun. Anyway, without the badges it's completely undrivable. I'm never buying Honda again. Obviously. My father, a mechanic with 38 years of experience, despises German engineering, in particular Volkswagen. He works at a used car lot, and would often come home with trademarked freaking VW stories. They are needlessly complex, with so many pieces hidden behind other pieces, that trying to fix one can easily become an all-day job. Beyond that, they are ridiculously fragile and break down easily, and then once they do they have specialty parts that are outrageously overpriced to get. He said the worst part about it all was their popularity. So many VW fanboys would swear by these crappy heck-in-a-handbasket cars, and if it wasn't them then it was some basic young girl who thought a bug was cute, giving him a never-ending supply of freaking VW stories. He likes Japanese engineering though. Hyundai is his favorite. However, I want to reinforce that a lot of these replies seem to be German fanboys. I'm sorry he doesn't like your cars, but rest assured it comes entirely from having to work on them and not particularly from driving them. He likes Japanese engineering though. Hyundai is his favorite. Hyundai is Korean. Can you all please upvote Up's story? It is good. I'm sure they just made an honest mistake. Honda CRX SI 89 feet fuel injected. 5-speed. Every part I ever had to replace was under $35, including alternator, starter, distributor, CV axles, shocks and much more. I did my own work. The car always started by the second turn. Extreme cold weather, and every part had a lifetime warranty, even the brake calipers and brake pads. When my starter went out the first time, my wife was able to push start it with one leg sitting in the driver's seat and pop the clutch. On the interstate it handled gusty winds from semis like a champion. Do I need to mention it went nearly 600 miles on a $22 tank of gas? Also I could change the oil from up top of the engine bay. I almost never had to jack the car up. You could literally lean in and put your hand on the oil drain bolt and oil filter. Put down a cheapo drop cloth for spills. We need a true CRX successor. Control F Volvo. 0 results. Dang straight. My 1989 240 wagon has over 400k on it and I am pretty certain it will go another 400k easy. Thing is an absolute tank. Design sculptor here with a few years at one of the big OEMs. I know this may sound odd but reliability and build quality come down to a lot of factors and every car is subjective to their own problems flaws. Good brands make bad cars. Bad brands make excellent cars. One thing to understand is in the design and production of a car, a ton has to do with funding for the project and the amount of effort the company wants to put in. That's why a flagship or high performance car will generally be better build quality than an econobox. Many companies also toss around engineers from one another. Say if Ford wants to put a car on the market that competes with BMW, They will often poach from BMW or similar companies to bring on those engineers' thought processes on board. Many companies also use the same suppliers as one another, so parts often come from the same place. For example, there is one company here in Detroit that produces most of the badges you see on foreign and domestic cars. A final huge factor on reliability, oddly enough, comes down to the actual assembly process. Oftentimes recalls are due to poorly installed components and not so much on the technology failing side. In the industry, it's known that you want to look at the build date of your car when ordering or buying it. I know this sounds funny, but a car built midweek, say Tuesday, Thursday, will generally be of better quality and reliability. Why, you may ask? Think of the people building the car. Most are the utmost professionals, but coming into work groggy on a Monday, itching to get out on a Friday, or just plain not wanting to be there on the weekend is going to affect how the person performs their task, sometimes causing faulty component installations and further issues. With all of that said, new cars are generally reliable and built well. We've come a long way and are improving with every new car. Get what you want. There's a million options and a lot of what is produced today is shared knowledge. Except Chrysler. Don't get anything Chrysler. The fire disease has infected them greatly and it shows. TLDR. Reliability is subjective. That checking the production date thing is actually a good tip, lol. Hi, not a mechanic here. Just a customer with a cautionary tale. Don't buy a Dodge. Its performance peaks before 10,000 miles. Do you like saving your hard-earned money? Do you want a car that's more trustworthy than a crackhead at the return desk of a Walmart? Do not buy a freaking Dodge. If you buy Japanese, you can eliminate slimy mechanics because there is nothing to fix. I haven't seen Pontiac here. I'm well aware they're not made anymore. Any thoughts, guys? I drive a 98 Trans Am and it's by far the best car I've ever owned. My friend has a '07 Grand Prix GXP 5.3 LV8, similar to Impala SS, and it was a fairly solid car for the abuse it took. Never been a GM guy, but I've always wanted to drive a GXP G8 or a Holden Commodore. Okay, so you scroll down and you see that apparently you should stay away from any car brand. Anything German, French, American, Korean. You should buy a horse and a carriage. That's easy enough to repair. Models are more important than brands. Every maker has some lemons and some good. If you are new to the channel, you can subscribe. I publish new videos every day. Until then, check another video. Bye for now.